collaboration with the National Hockey League and the National Hockey League Players Association.
Beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the scene of tonight's final World Cup of Hockey tune-up for Canada taking on Russia. And it's a homecoming for 87. Sidney Crosby, the Stanley Cup champs, as well. Carey Price, his second start since returning from injury. For Russia, how about their captain, Alexander Ovechkin, still searching for his first goal of this tournament. And his buddy, Evgeny Malkin, another Penguin back on home ice looking to get things done. Meanwhile, 400 kilometers southeast, you will find Washington, D.C., where tonight Team Europe plays Team Sweden. Anze Kopitar, Matt Zuccarello, they are still searching for their first win in this tournament. It's not going to be easy taking on Sweden with the likes of Nick Backstrom and Erik Karlsson. Welcome in. Two great games and two great cohorts, and Elliot Friedman and Nick Kyprios. I'm David Amber, and we're into the final two pre-tournament games before the scene shifts for all 8 teams Saturday to Toronto. Canada's final tune-up taking on the Russians, and it's a new look to this Canadian team. News that we had for you last night during our telecast. Not good news when it comes to Tyler Seguin, out with an ankle injury. It suffered in this first game, slips on the stick of Ryan Suter. Right there, an ankle injury is what it's been declared by Mike Babcock. His World Cup of Hockey tournament is done. Enter Ryan O'Reilly, the Sabres center, a fantastic 200-foot player. Actually drove in from Buffalo last night when he got the call, ecstatic to join Team Canada. So that's our big lineup change, and this is how it looks on paper, guys. You see O'Reilly there, going to be centering Claude Giroux and Joe Thornton on a pretty interesting and dynamic line there. Carey Price, again, as mentioned, will be the starting goalie for Canada. So, and by the way, Sidney Crosby, he was a healthy scratching game too. He's back tonight, again, with the 2 Bs, one on either side. Well, let's start with Ryan O'Reilly, though, because this is pretty interesting stuff. Do you think he is a good fit for this Canadian team?
We talked about this the other night. Yeah, there's no doubt that you could have gone a number of ways. They chose O'Reilly. We mentioned Wayne Simmons the other day, Gallagher, all good picks. But Ryan O'Reilly also has a history with the World Championship and a successful one at that with Claude Giroux. Pretty versatile guy. We know he can take faceoffs. We know he can play the wing. And he's got the battle and the compete that makes Babcock pretty happy. So overall, you lose the dynamic ability of rushing the puck maybe 30, 60 feet away like a Tyler Seguin, but maybe you make up for it with the grit and determination of a Ryan O'Reilly.
There's no secret that Team Canada can't get enough centers on the roster. They want as many centers as they can. All of a sudden, there are a couple of questions. Claude Giroux got banged up in the first game. He's been nursing a little something. Matt Duchene doesn't always play center for Canada, but he's also nursing something and won't play tonight. I think, Dave, that was a factor in the decision. This team can't have enough centers on its roster.
It's interesting, though. 11 centers out of 13 forwards. You think maybe you want a natural winger in there, but you're saying more centers, more versatility.
Absolutely, and that's always been the way they've gone at all of these best-on-best tournaments when they're successful.
All right, well, I can tell you right now, we have Christine Stimpson standing by with the newest member of Team Canada.
Thanks very much, David. Ryan, you could be forgiven if your head is still spinning just a little bit. I want to start by asking you, what were you doing when you got the call? What has the last 24 hours been like for you?
A bit of a whirlwind. I was at my home in Buffalo and got the call from Doug, and he said, how quick can you be in Pittsburgh? And then from then on, it's been a little bit of adventure to get here, but got in last night and kind of right into the routine, getting ready for a game. It's a little quick. It's definitely a little interesting being thrown in right in the game, kind of first time with the boys, but I think it's a good way to do it.
How do you catch up? You said you were already skating, of course, but I mean, these guys already have 2 games under their belt.
I think the big thing is going to be the physicality, the pushing, getting boxing guys out, getting to the net, kind of that thing that you don't really get much of in the summer when it's a little more just skating. So I think it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but for myself, it's just kind of, take it one shift at a time, keep them short and, just hopefully it'll go well.
It looks like you could spend some time with Joe Thornton and Claude Giroux. What else has Mike Babcock, though, said that he expects from you?
I think for this one, it's kind of really, you get a feel. I think talking to him, he knows it's kind of a little difficult just to jump right in after not having too many skates with the guys. But, I think for myself, it's, I just got to find it as quick as I can. It's going to be, a little bit easier playing with guys, having this such a good caliber team that, you could play with anyone on it. That for myself, again, it's, it's enjoying it, but at the same time, getting into it as best I can.
Well, welcome to being here, and thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
David?
All right, thank you. And look at the injured players for Team Canada. I mean, this is a veritable all-star team. The two stars in Ben and Sagan, Jeff Carter, Duncan Keith, both Stanley Cup winners as well. Honestly, a lot of losses, a lot of attrition for Canada, and the tournament hasn't yet begun. Let's welcome in their GM as we get going here. Doug Armstrong joins us on the show, and thanks for doing this, Doug. And I guess my first question is, why Ryan O'Reilly? We had a big debate about it, Hall, Simmons, Gallagher. Why O'Reilly the fit for this team?
Well, we certainly talked about it as a management staff and the coaching staff, and there was a couple of healthy debates on which way we wanted to go, but ultimately Mike wanted someone that could play in the middle like Sagan was doing on that line, and O'Reilly is someone that Billy Peters had a great experience with last year at the World Championships, someone that we're very comfortable can fill a lot of roles if necessary. He can go over to the wing, so he just seemed like the proper guy for the injury and the replacement that was necessary.
Doug, the good news for Tyler is it doesn't appear to be a week-to-week situation, but rather a day-to-day. So I ask you this, why not wait this thing out with Tyler? Where's the fine line between having to make the hard decision to let him go and bring in fresh legs?
Yeah, Kipper, the hard part was we're looking at 7 to 10 days, and you take that out, all of a sudden we're into the second or third game, and once your roster's set, you can't make the changes, and we just felt it was first and foremost for Sagan and the Dallas Stars, it was the right thing to do, and then also for this team, we wanted to make sure that when we got to our roster come Friday, we had everyone available that could play. We already have some other bodies that are a little bit nicked up, and it just seemed we couldn't take that risk of having someone that wasn't going to be able to play tonight and likely wasn't going to be able to skate through the weekend.
Doug, just a follow-up to that question. You mentioned a couple guys nicked up. We know of Giroux. We know of Duchesne. Do you have any concern at all that you might have to replace these two guys in the next 48 hours?
We don't think so. We're certainly going to know Drew's going to go through tonight's game. We'll get a very good read, obviously, after this one. We think this game will be a little bit different than the two U.S. games. Maybe a little more pace in this one, a little less physicality. So we'll get a good read. We're hoping to get through this game with no more injuries. Duchesne, I know, is not someone that we're concerned about. He'll be ready to go Saturday. So we're crossing our fingers, guys, and hoping to get through this game and take this group of 23 to Toronto tonight after the game and into Saturday's game against the Czechs.
Doug, depth is always the best thing Canada has going for it. Star after star after star. In net, no exception, with Holtby and Crawford waiting to jump in if need be. What does Carey Price have to show you tonight for you to feel 100% secure, like he's okay to go as our number one guy?
Well, we certainly would like him to have a very good game, and I thought he made some great saves in game one, and maybe had a goal that he'd like back. But we didn't expect a lot different. He had a long time off, and he looked really good in practice. I think getting that first game under his belt was key for him. I know he's excited to play this game, and he wants to put his best foot forward. And as you said, sort of the king is dead, long live the king in Hockey Canada. There's so many great options there, but Carey's a guy we'd like to see have a great game tonight and solidify his spot.
Doug Armstrong, thank you so much. Best of luck moving forward in the tournament.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a couple of days.
As everything does shift to Toronto, but for tonight, we've got on Sportsnet 360 Sweden and Europe in Washington. That'll be after the break. Everyone else, we continue working towards puck drop Canada, Russia in Pittsburgh.
One of the best hockey players from around Europe, and the other is one of the great hockey powers of Europe. Team Europe against Team Sweden. And we'll start with the #1 netminder for Team Europe, Jaroslav Halak. The head coach says he's not going to confirm it, but all signs point to this guy carrying the mail during the real tournament when it begins on Saturday, Yaroslav Halak of the New York Islanders. There is no question who the undisputed number one is for Team Sweden, the King. Two-time Olympic medalist Henrik Lundqvist of the New York Rangers gets the start here tonight. At the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C., where the referees are Kelly E. Sutherland and Chris Lee. Brian Murphy and Pierre Rasico will work the lines tonight. Team Europe comes in with an 0-2 record, having lost both of their pre-tournament contests to Team North America. Nicholas Backstrom and Team Sweden split their two against the Finns over in Europe. This is their first game over here in North America prior to going to Toronto for the round robin. So we're all underway here for this pre-tournament contest. And the Swedes start by controlling the puck. There is Erik Karlsson. He is partnered with Matthias Ekholm along the blue line. And right away that pass goes into the lone capital on the Team Sweden roster. That is Nick Backstrom. Backstrom fires it in there, and back to get it is Sekera. Gets it to his partner, Zdeno Chara. Thomas Tatar tries to tap it out of the zone. Instead, it's sent back in by Sweden. Sekera is on it. And now here's Chara again. Team Europe had a very rough start on Sunday at the Bell Center in Montreal against Team North America, falling down 3-0 in a hurry. But they settled down and came back and made a game of it before ultimately losing 7-4 in that contest. Here's a chance for Sweden to break away, and it's Louis Eriksson. Eriksson stepping in, had 2 goals in his last game against Finland. Throws it back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Slap pass down low, centering attempt off of Halak and cleared back out to center.
Giveaway there by Team Europe right at the offensive blue line, and that's one of the areas that they want to clean up in this game that gave them all kinds of trouble against a very quick North American team.
Ekman-Larsson goes back and forth with his partner, Nicholas Hjalmarsson of the Chicago Blackhawks. Ekman-Larsson's pass missed the intended target, ends up with Team Europe at his strike. Headmans the puck, and that's turned over to Landeskog. Gabriel Landeskog, the captain of the Colorado Avalanche, in there on the forecheck, and it's moved up the boards. Back out to center and knocked inside the Swedish blue line, picked up by Hjalmarsson and cleared. Sent back in by Christian Ehrhoff. Here is Victor Hedman. Hedman up ahead to Michael Backlund wearing number 11. And it's pushed in by Hagelin. There is Halak. Gets it back to the line. There is Hedman with a shot. A one-timer that is blocked. Halak makes another stop with a rebound. Goes into the corner. We saw Team Finland in this building last night. Got off to a bit of a sluggish start after making the long trip over the Atlantic to get here to North America. We'll see if the same issue plagues Team Sweden, although they've had an extra 24 hours to acclimatize. Europe's been here the whole time. They started last Thursday night in Quebec City.
Although all these players are used to the smaller ice surface, a bit of an adjustment coming over to North America again after playing their first 2 games on bigger ice as well.
Sekera puts the puck in for Team Europe. There's Andrzej Kopitar. He's wearing the C for Team Europe, as he will this season for the LA Kings. Nick Backstrom did not find a clean lane to pass it in there, so he dumps it in the corner. Karlsson knocks it down. And there's a quick pass just ahead of the intended target, Thomas Tatar. Picked up down, skated away by Philip Forsberg. Forsberg's pass across the ice to Patrick Hornquist. Back for Ekholm, back to Hornquist. He's in tight. Goes all the way around the net, and Ekholm with a quick shot. Halak standing square to the shooter, makes the stop. Out from behind his own net. That is Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators. His first pass up the left side, now across the ice to Dennis Seidenberg, the former Boston Bruin who has been bought out and is looking for a NHL contract.
Well, Ralph Kruger's been very careful with this veteran group. Many of these players played in Olympic qualifiers, and he has taken his time, not giving them too much information, as he has mentioned to us more than a few times. They have a veteran group. He feels they'll be ready for tournament play. They're used to tournament play and getting prepared for the important games, and he's looking for a lot more structure from his team than he saw in the first 2 games, and he thinks they're much more prepared here for this one tonight. We'll see.
He's mentioned that there's been a lot of buy-in with his group made up of several different hockey countries around Europe, and he says he's convinced there is an upset in this group, and they're going to need one. Mark Streit, the veteran, trying to work it up the boards and cannot. Number 17 for Sweden out on the ice right now is Patrick Berglund. Just added to the roster. There he is, the St. Louis Blues. He's added because Ricard Raquel is ill, and in last report was still in hospital back in Sweden. He played 1 pre-tournament game and then is ailing and is unable to play in the World Cup. Draisaitl. Draisaitl banks it off the boards, goes in after it, controlled by Daniel Sedin. That pass gets through Hedman, and Europe on the loose puck inside the blue line. Down low is Eriksson. Out front, controlled by Stralman. Stralman out to Daniel. Daniel looking for Henrik on this line now with Louis Eriksson. 2 Sedins and Louis Eriksson, and you'll see that a lot this season in Vancouver. After Eriksson signed a big free agent contract to play for the Canucks. Centering pass in behind Niederreiter, and here is Eriksson.
A very effective line so far. Lots of chemistry between the trio.
Here is Ekholm. Ekholm, kind of an underrated, very good defenseman for the Nashville Predators. This one's worked into the middle of the ice. And pushed inside now. Here's Jannik Hansen. Hansen towards the net, and look at that great stick there by Ekholm to knock that down. Backlund. Sweden races in. There's a shot that goes up and out of play. As we check out the Swedish bench and introduce you to the Swedish head coach, Rikard Gronberg, who's been rising the ranks behind the bench for this Swedish national team. He's been on Olympic staffs and World Championship staffs, and now he's the head coach for this World Cup of Hockey squad.
And went to school at St. Cloud University and is an American citizen as well. Spent most of his coaching career here in America before going over and getting into the Swedish national program, of course, his original home.
Ekman Larsson tries to center the puck that bounces right to Tatar, and the Detroit Red Wing forward tried to get it to Hossa and could not. Sweden controls the puck. Starting out as Hjalmarsson, spins it back to Ekman Larsson. Over the past 3 years, he has become an awesome offensive weapon for Arizona from the blue line. Scoring all kinds of goals and big ones too. Josi, surrounded by a couple of yellow jerseys, got the puck away, and it's back out to center. Here is the Washington Capitals all-time assist leader, Nick Backstrom. Dishes off the puck and then heads to the bench.
Typical Swedish game so far. They're a very patient team, strong defensively. And this is the way they play. They just wait you out, wait you out. There's certainly lots of scoring with their group, so when they get a chance, often it's in the back of the net, and defensively they don't give up much. That's the way they play, and that's one of the reasons why they've been so successful in international play over the years. And they got a wonderful defense as well for this team. You mentioned just a couple of moments ago, Dave. They are strong across the board on the blue line.
Lundqvist makes the stop, and we will take a break from Washington, D.C., where there's no score. The World Cup of Hockey pre-tournament action. Performance in pre-tournament action. Everybody is taking note that they will not be an easy out. Only 2 teams will advance to the semifinal stage. There's a shot that is kicked aside by Henrik Lundqvist. And a puck battle in the corner. Down low there was Marian Gaborik, who scored 2 goals on Sunday in Montreal for Team Europe. And this one sent down the ice. Seidberg is back to get it. He works it up the boards, and Europe is away to center ice with some speed stepping in. Here's Matt Zuccarello. Zuccarello shot in on his teammate from the Rangers. Lundqvist makes the stop. And now it's Hedman. Hard to believe with how good Hedman has been the last couple of years that he was left off the 2014 Olympic team. Here's Josi now, back the other way, tries to center it, cannot get it through, and now Carlson settles things down. Carlson with the outlet pass. Henrik goes to Daniel, back to Henrik in tight quarters, spins a backhander into the corner. Eriksson's up there as well, Louis Eriksson. Looking for Daniel, and he's got him. Here's the Team Sweden captain, Henrik Sedin. Backs it off the boards to Mattias Ekholm, and around it goes to Daniel. Throws it out in front, ends up with Henrik down low for Louis Eriksson. Eriksson has spent the last 3 seasons in Boston, coming off an excellent year there, the best of his 3. Now he's hoping to carry that on the West Coast. Daniel at the end of his shift just puts it in there and heads to the bench.
Much better start for Team Europe here. Obviously, they're a little more structured. They're much more patient. They seem to have their legs a little more in this game, and they get the first semi-chance of the game off the face-off here. Lundqvist sees it all the way and directs the rebound into the corner, and then is in good position for the second chance. And Josi jumps up to the play. He's one of the few Team Europe defensemen that has the ability to do that, and creates a 4-on-2 break for Team Europe that almost worked.
There's an errant pass that ends up with Niederreiter. He floats one down the ice, and Tobias Rieder is on it. Rieder had the puck knocked off of his stick, and it goes into the corner here. Worked up to Philip Forsberg. Forsberg turns it over to Draisaitl, and he turns back. He shoots, and Lundqvist makes a point-blank stop on the young sniper of the Edmonton Oilers. There's another drive. Scores! Tipped on the way in, and Team Europe has scored first.
Well, Draisaitl with a real good chance off the rush, and Team Europe was looking for a little more from this youngster, and they felt he was watching all the stars in his team and being a little bit in awe, but he has had a much better start to this game. First of all, great work down low by Niederreiter to create the puck pressure that gives the giveaway here right through the middle of the ice by Forsberg, and this gives zone possession to Team Europe. Good save by Lundqvist to start off by Draisaitl, and Draisaitl will just curl right to the front of the net and redirect this Cheris shot to give Team Europe the early lead.
And for the first time in this pre-tournament competition, Team Europe has scored first. And Draisaitl has his first after a 19-goal season in his first full year of the NHL. So you're right, you mentioned it a couple times, Greg. Much better start for Team Europe. Here is Stralman now. Stralman contending with Andrei Kopitar, the 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Battling down low, they get it away to Stralman. Stralman up ahead, that pass misses Jacob Silfverberg, and now he's got it. Silfverberg peels back and gives it up to Hedman, and they've got the puck again. Long pass across the ice to Carl Hagelin. Hagelin, one of 2 Pittsburgh Penguins in this Swedish lineup with Stanley Cup rings now. The other one being Patrick Hornquist. Here's Frans Nielsen. Nielsen down low for Gaborik. Gaborik walks out, centers the puck, and Nielsen got a bit of it. Here's Zuccarello to Nielsen, turns it over, and Carlson starts out. Erik Karlsson shot backhand pass to Daniel. Daniel across to Henrik, shoots on the backhand. Halak may have got a piece. He's got that one, and gets a little help from Zuccarello to clear it. Held in there by Karlsson. Across to Ekholm, his blast right on, and Halak makes the stop. Bromberg coming right back with a Sedin line after that goal, and they respond with a couple of quality chances, Greg.
Yeah, Halak with a couple of big saves. I thought he was very good coming in the relief in Montreal also.
Here's Landeskog. Gabriel Landeskog winding his way around the net. Still with the puck being watched there by Hansen. Got it back to Ekman Larsson. Larsson walks the line, takes a wrist shot, and that hits the leg, goes to the end boards. Belmar digs that puck out and gets it to Hansen. He's got a man trying to get it to Vanek, and that is knocked down at the blue line. Leon Draisaitl has scored for Europe, and it's 1-0.
Stay on top of the World Cup of Hockey.
Welcome back to the Verizon Center. Yaroslav Halak has now played in all 3 pre-tournament games, and he's looking sharp again tonight.
Yeah, a couple of early saves here. Zuccarello just tries that backhand pass to Nelson, and he gives it away, and here comes the rush chance for Team Sweden. As Henriksen with the first chance, then Daniel right in the slot, and that's where Halak had to be very sharp to fight off that knuckleball that came towards him.
Sweden trying to work the puck out of their zone. They cannot. Here's another chance on the backhand. Inside, in a body in front. That was off the stick of Josi. Now it's Kopitar. Kopitar puts it back to Tatar. Thomas Tatar can't hang on to it, and it's cleared by Sweden. Backstrom picks it up on the move and skates it in. Sharp angle. He's going to go for a skate around the net. Still with it, and all kinds of room to drop it off for Hedman. Hedman now. Sharp angle drive, goes off of the side wall and cleared by Team Europe. Here's Forsberg. Victor Hedman with a pass off the stick of Louis Eriksson into the zone, and it's picked up by Mark Streit. Trapped to the far points by Stroman and sent back in. And it's Seidenberg out there against his old Boston teammate. Now Eriksson's got it. Eriksson banks it back to Hedman. And now it's Daniel. Daniel walking out of the corner. Up high in the zone, puts it back towards the net, gets there, and Halak sees it through all that traffic. Now it's Henrik. Back to Daniel. Daniel to Eriksson. And coming across to make another great stop is Jaro Halak.
Well, this line's been really good for Team Sweden throughout the early exhibition schedule, and we've seen it so often. The Sedin twins, they know where everybody is, and they just continue to work it around down low with some beautiful passing through traffic. Halak with the first save. Good puck recovery on the second chance by Eriksson, and then Eriksson to the side of the net tries to bat one into the air, and a real fine read by Halak to get over the crease in a hurry and make that save.
That's fine.
Ekholm checks his shoulder with Zuccarello bearing down on him. The puck was sent down the ice, and Sweden's going to try to come right back. It's turned over at the blue line, and here is Zuccarello. That's Zuccarello, throws it back to Zdeno Chara as they go off the shin pads and outside the line. 39-year-old Zdeno Chara, longtime national team member for Slovakia. And out the Oslo native, Zuccarello trying to make something happen, finds Gaborg. His drive didn't get all of it, and the rebound bounces right back to Europe. They've had some good pressure. Here's Ehrhoff with a blast, and it is scooped up and held by Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah, high stick in the neutral zone as Nielsen got it right in the chops. Now the refs are going to come over to see if it's going to be 2 or 4 minutes. So Team Europe will go on the power play. And there's the call, high sticking.
Nielsen appears all right over there on the bench, so this is the 4th power play attempt that Europe has had so far in a pre-tournament competition. They've yet to score a power play goal. They're 0 for 3.
And it's Daniel Sedin that's going to get the penalty right here in the neutral zone as the stick will come up. It's actually Carlson's stick by the looks of that, but now they're going to maybe sort it out, are they? Yep, they're not there yet. Here comes Daniel Sedin out of the box. No, he went to the wrong penalty box. So now he's going to go to the other side. Here we got that much sorted out. Okay, I get it. And high sticking is the call.
So a chance here for Team Europe to extend its lead. Already up 1-0 on the goal by Leon Draisaitl. And they start by having to chase it all the way down inside their blue line. Picked up by the Swedes. Landeskog puts it all the way back in for Stroman, and they'll take some more time off the clock. Anton Stroman, who's really become he was an important blue liner for the New York Rangers, and now he's equally as such for Tampa Bay. Suffered an injury late in the season that kept him out until the Eastern Conference Final in the playoffs. Here's a chance for Josi. His blast is right on the mark, and Lundqvist was ready for that. Hedman tries to dig it out. Into the corner it goes. Kopitar is there. So is Marian Hossa. Zuccarello can't control it, and it is cleared again by Sweden. 1 minute gone on the Team Europe penalty, or power play, I should say. And now it is Mark Streit starting out for Team Europe. That one goes all the way across to Gabbard. Gabbard's pass off a stick and into the zone. Hjalmarsson is back there. And Eriksson taps it up ahead to Backstrom. Backstrom stops up, finds Eriksson, and he was in tight and couldn't get a good shot away. Hans Nielsen picks it up. He leaves it for Streit. Good pass up ahead, and now they'll step in. Here's Nielsen spinning away. Nielsen, now a member of the Detroit Red Wings, gets it back to Streit. Streit to Nielsen. Makes a little move. Lead pass up ahead for Streit, who's got to go get it. And now it's Niederreiter. Streit with a puck at the top of the circles. Nielsen moves in. Soderberg is watching him. Seconds remaining in this power play. Time for one more shot. Here is Streit. Puts it across to Gaborik. Gaborik, better watch for Daniel. He's coming in. There's the shot and a save made by Lundqvist. And now it's Daniel out of the box. 1-on-2 with a step trying to get around Chara. And he poked it away from him. Hedman, his wrist shot deflected wide of the goal. Stralman with an attempt. Again, puts it deep. Zdeno Chara turns it over. There's a blast, and saving a goal was Belmark. That got through Halak, and Belmark kept it out. After the turnover by Chara. Here's Hansen now at the other end. Tries to center it, goes behind the goal, picked up, walking out as Belmar rolls back to Sekera. He'll give it up to Hansen. Henrik Hansen around the net. Curls back on Hedman, tries the other side, still with it. Cuts into the middle, and that's not going to work. It's taken away by the Swedes and skated out. Daniel dumps it in. That line changes. 3:42 to go in the first period. Just one goal on the board. Scored by Draisaitl. Kopitar sweeps it right to Forsberg. And now Philip Forsberg takes a hit there from Chara. Kopitar gets the puck back and makes the nice little pass in tight, and now they're away. Here's Tatar. Back to Kopitar. He's got Hossa with him. Takes a shot, and it's off a stick and up and out of play. 3:16 remaining in the first, and it's a one-goal game in D.C. Late stages of the first, and we almost had a tie game here, Greg.
Well, because Chara's had a little bit of a tough time getting his legs so far, and he looks one way and then just gets some pressure and just throws it towards the middle. And Eriksson with the blast, and Halak with the save, and then Belmar does a real nice job to the left of your screen at just picking this puck. Whoa, right like that, or he may have saved a goal. From the overhead, that looked like it was going in the net. And a good play by Halak to get enough of the initial chance also.
8 different countries represented by Team Europe, only one from France, and that, of course, is Belmar. Tatar back to Seidenberg. Sent into traffic, knocked down by Backlund, and put deep again by the Europeans.
I think Chara's been planting his feet a lot, and that's created giveaways for himself. He's got to get moving a little more than he has so far in this tournament. Well, that was a good example where he just planted his feet, felt the pressure, and then ended up just giving the puck away right in the slot.
Offside is the call.
For Team Europe, a much, much better start to this game. Perhaps a little familiarity as well, as they know and have all played against Sweden a lot over the years in international play. All of these players for Team Europe.
That's the D line right back out onto the ice. They've logged a lot of minutes here in this opening period.
Sweden's been going with 3 lines throughout the first period. Backlund, Silfverberg, and Hagelin have had limited ice time.
Here's Henrik with a long pass up to Eriksson. Eriksson's pass got into the skates there of Henrik. And Henrik gives this one away. Here's Gaborik with a blast. And Lundqvist called upon to make a stop. Uncharacteristic sloppy play there by Henrik Sedin. Eriksson's on the loose puck. Throws it back for Ekholm. His shot is stopped by Halak. and lifted back out of the zone by Europe. Here's Erik Karlsson, who's accustomed to playing around 30 minutes a night. He probably won't in this tournament. Up in the play, puck is loose, comes across the goal mouth and to the side boards. Good puck battle there with Reeder and Backlund. Backing up is Ehrhoff, another long-time NHLer who's without a contract right now, an unrestricted free agent. And that pass comes to the near side to open ice, was picked up by Hagelin. Hagelin separated from the puck by Niederreiter and is pushed in behind the net. Ehrhoff forced, but Draisaitl with some help. Now it's a one-on-one. Niederreiter had to turn back to get that puck on his stick. Ekholm was bleeding on him just a bit. Chara gives it up. Flipped into the middle, turned over again. Forsberg read the play and got a good wrist shot away, but it's wide of the mark. Here's Backstrom. Backstrom trying to get it ahead to Forsberg. Forsberg, who was originally a first-round draft pick of the Washington Capitals. He and Backstrom could have played together before he was traded to Nashville. Never played here. Now he's an emerging star as a Predator. Final minute now, first period. Here's Tatar. Cut back into the middle, then gives it up to Seidenberg. Seidenberg goes across. This one's banked up in the air. Waiting for it is Hossa. Hossa puts it to open ice. Knocked down on the move there by Tatar. He'll shovel it in. Lundqvist out of his net, reaches out, and it hits the netting in behind the goal, and that gets a whistle with 21 seconds on the clock.
Well, this time of year with players trying to catch up to the speed, there's a few giveaways, and there's a giveaway uncharacteristic by Sedin, and a good chance Lundqvist with the save as he blocks as he always does. There's always a bit of a rebound with Lundqvist, and then at the other end, Halak finds a puck through traffic. And a real good save is right on the doorstep with Sedin.
Nielsen comes in to take this job for Team Europe in the offensive zone against Soderberg, but Soderberg is waved out, so Landeskog comes in. And Sweden wins it cleanly. Ekman Larsson puts it around the boards, waiting for it is Berglund, and it's back to Ekman Larsson. The 21-goal scorer, Oliver Ekman Larsson, is stripped to the puck, but he gets a little help from Hjalmarsson. Final seconds tick off the clock, and that is it. And there's your lone goal scorer. Leon Draisaitl has given Team Europe a 1-0 lead through 20 minutes in Washington, D.C. 20 minutes in the books, 1 goal on the board here at the Verizon Center, and it's been scored by Leon Draisaitl for Team Europe as they have their first lead of this pre-tournament competition, and they're starting to build some chemistry that we have not really seen for a whole game yet. And that's a good sign for this squad that is going to try to surprise some people once the round robin begins on the weekend at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. Final pre-tournament action tonight for these two teams. Here's Chara. Chara down low, going in there aggressively as Forsberg to Backstrom, a whips a wrist shot, wide, short side, and it caught some of the netting up high, but Forsberg to Backstrom, and that's a good chance early for Sweden.
Here we go a little bit. Hornqvist and Chara having a chat in front of the net. Hornqvist going to the net. Some good contact by Forsberg to start this period on the forecheck, which creates the giveaway. And it looks like Team Sweden coming in a little more assertive in this second period here early, and a shot that just missed after the forecheck. And there's Hornqvist giving a push to Chara, a little push back, and a little bit of emotion here, which is what we're looking for.
Patrick Hornqvist with 22 goals last season, 9 goals in the playoffs. That was second on the Penguins, behind Phil Kessel, who had 10. He really had a great postseason. And as the Stanley Cup ring to show for it. Up ahead to Gaborik into traffic, and it's knocked back out to center. And Daniel Sedin trying to get it up to Louis Eriksson, and it rolls to Josi. Europe starts out. Here is Seidenberg. Seidenberg's pass misses. Ekholm puts it back outside the line, and Sweden's got it again. Into the middle, across the ice now. Here's Carlson. Slap pass attempt, gets it back, spins it back towards the net, and back defensively there was Team Europe. Franz Nielsen sends this one around the boards. Ends up in the corner. There is Zuccarello. Zuccarello in a bit of a bear hug down low now. And that's going to draw a penalty, and for the second time tonight, Daniel Sedin's going to the box.
I don't think he deserved the one in period one. It was Carlson, but he does deserve this one as he gets the bear hug, as you mentioned, on Zuccarello. Zuccarello, who started on the #1 line for this group, is on a different line than as host has been put up with Kopitar and Tatar, and there's the penalty. And all the little things that teams are trying to get better at before this tournament starts, and this is one of them. Special teams, as they will be important in tournament play in a hurry.
Zuccarello draws the penalty. He's back on the bench, and a second power play chance here for Team Europe. Here's Thomas Vanek. Moves that one across the ice, off the stick of Draisaitl. Now it's Josi. Winds across. Vanek with a blast, and then misses short side. Goes off of the end boards. In for Draisaitl. He can't handle it, and now Sweden with a chance to get it out, and they do, down the ice.
Vanek, one of the reasons he was put on this team, because he's one of the few right-handed shots they have. Look out. Almost a giveaway there with a wide open net for Hagelin in front of the net.
Thomas Vanek with 316 NHL goals. 124 of those have come in this situation with a man advantage.
The only right-handed forward on the team.
And he's wide open here. Here's Draisaitl trying to get it across to Vanek. Pulls it down, tries to center it. Lundqvist down, can't control it, and Europe's got the puck back. Good pressure here with a minute gone in their power play. Kopitar. Strike, swings it across. Draisaitl carries that into the corner, puts it in front. Now it's dropped back for Kopitar. Slap pass. Draisaitl trying to return the favor. Got it into too much traffic, and it's cleared down the ice by Sweden. Mark Strike now. Starts out, puts a pass up ahead, carrying in his Gabbert to Tatar. His shot scores! Thomas Tatar hits the top corner. Power play goal, and it's 2-0 Europe.
Well, there's a beautiful rush play on the power play by Team Europe with two strong, crisp passes, and Tatar flying late, coming off on the right side of your screen. There's the first good pass. It'll turn back crisp, and then Tatar catches Lundqvist a little bit deep and high over the glove after Gaborik finds Tatar. And Tatar with a beautiful quick release. You can see Lundqvist, who plays deep often in his net, is deep there, and lots of net for Tatar to put it up over top of the glove to give Team Europe the 2-0 lead.
We've seen that from him before. He had 29 goals a couple of seasons ago, just 21, but back-to-back 20-plus goal seasons, and you can see he's got plenty of finish as he goes top shelf on the King and makes it 2-0 early here in the second period. And Europe's right back in the offensive zone, grinding away again. Here's Hansen with some time. Throws it back out in front, touch to Reeder. Back to Chara, his drive off of the end boards, and Forsberg's on it. Hammers this one all the way around and down the ice. Reeder down. And that play is whistled down.
Gaborik's had a good start to this tournament. He's, as you mentioned, Dave, had a couple of goals, and he sets this one up in a crisp pass right over to Tatar. Tatar with a quick release. And it's just two passes, really. Straight, just left side. Tatar hugs the boards, arrives right in time, and just sneaks in behind the defense as Jarmelson doesn't see him. And then Tatar just wires it up over top of Lundqvist after a beautiful pass by Gaborik. And there's the shot as he jams Lundqvist right over the shoulder. And a real fine, skilled passing play by Team Europe.
So we have a penalty call here against Team Europe. It's a too many men call that was made. That was the reason for the whistle. And they're just sorting out who's going to sit in the box, and it is going to be Draisaitl. So first power play of the night for Sweden.
And there's a mix-up, 6 players on the ice, and that will happen as teams are getting familiar with coaches and themselves on the bench.
Sweden's power play so far in 2 games, 2 for 9. That blast by Carlson, handled by Halak. Rebound goes into the corner. Seidenberg is down there, and it comes free for Josi, and down it goes.
By number 29, Leon Draisaitl.
Both of Sweden's goals on the power play have been scored by Louis Eriksson. He's out there right now with the Sedins. Here's Carlson with the puck. Carlson goes across to Henrik. Henrik steps in over the blue line, leaves it there for Ekman Larsson, and now it comes outside the zone, and everybody's got it clear. Knocked down, and again, Ekman Larsson is forced back. Good penalty killing now, and here comes Jannik Hansen. He's a speedster. Hansen short-handed, big stop by Lundqvist, and that's going to be a penalty shot. Lundqvist made the stop, but Hansen is going to get a penalty shot.
Well, Hansen's got great speed, and he just takes off on the penalty kill.
Has been awarded to Team Europe.
And the penalty shot's going to be awarded. A sloppy play here. Here comes Hansen as he just takes off. Lundqvist with the great save. And the giveaway on the play by Ekman Larsson. Henrik Lundqvist practices breakaways and morning skates. He practices them in the pregame skate in the games as well. Always practicing this play.
Representing Denmark here for Team Europe. Penalty shot for Hansen in on Lundqvist, and he stopped cold.
I mean, that one wasn't even close as Lundqvist was all over the 5-hole and had a stick in perfect position. And Lundqvist here, here's the play. Little move to the 5-hole. Look at how he just cleans it right up. No room at all for Hansen. Lundqvist lost an edge on that initial play, so he wasn't allowed to come to the bench right away, but now he can come over, and there's the trainer with the stone working on getting the edge back for Henrik Lundqvist. After on the initial breakaway, I'm sure he rattled the post with his blade, and that's why he lost an edge of it on the initial breakaway chance by Hansen.
Seems to be ready to go. 35 wins last season for Lundqvist, 4th in the NHL. He's the first goalie in NHL history with 30 wins or more in 10 of his first 11 seasons. So after all that, it stays 2-0. There is still 1:02 to go in this Swedish power play, which has looked a little sloppy so far. A couple of turnovers entering the zone, and now they can't get in cleanly again either, and it's sent back. So much firepower. Nice little move there by Forsberg. Gets it away to Carlson. Carlson stays out there. Puts it back to Landeskog, and Landeskog's going to make sure. Puts it into the deep corner. Now they're on the puck. Tried to get it back to the point, but did not get it around Hansen, and he skates away with some help. Throws it in there. Here's Sekera. Whoa, that one almost went off one of the Swedish players and in. Backstrom was there. He had it all the way, he'll say. Here's Carlson to Backstrom. Backstrom loads, passes. Now they got something going on. Here's Carlson out of his skates. Up top to Backstrom. To Erik Karlsson. Karlsson cross-ice pass. Forsberg loads, shoots. Halak to save. They bang away at the rebound, and it comes to Forsberg. Back to Karlsson. Penalty is over. Draisaitl hustles back. There's Backstrom with a drive. Knocked down and wide. So
Europe need a change here big time.
Now they finally got some pressure. Couldn't bury it, and now they got some tired legs on the long change. Rader trying to relieve the pressure, cannot. They're going to step back in. The Sedins to Eriksson, but it's offside.
No.
That's offside of the blue line.
It's going to be too many men, I think, to
Again?
Team Sweden. Yep, this time to Team Sweden. As the official immediately called it, I believe. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. The official was pointing right to the bench, and you're right, just offside on the play, on the far side of the ice. And Sekera went all the way down the ice, and when he did that, Team Europe didn't change and had to get back, and this is what created all the pressure for Team Sweden, a very tired group on that play after trying the offensive rush chance killing the penalty. And you're right, Dave, that was just an offside. The way the official was pointing to the bench, I thought perhaps there was a too many men call there for a moment.
So exactly 6 minutes gone. Louis Eriksson and company find themselves trailing here by a couple. And that was a pretty decent penalty kill. I don't know. You got to give the penalty killers credit, but Sweden looked a little sloppy with that man advantage, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, until the end of it, they did. A couple of giveaways, and Sekera takes off on the one play. You know, it's okay to try an offensive chance when you're killing penalties, but when you join the defenseman, often you don't make hay on the rush. Then defensively, you got to get back, and that's where Sweden took advantage of that last little bit of the power play.
Henrik Sedin to Daniel in front, looking for Hedman on the backside, and he tipped that one just wide.
Good battle, man. Good battle. Here we go, Christian. Let him go.
Here's Daniel. Finds some time back of the net. Comes to the near side for Henrik. Pounded in there by Strawman. Blocked, and it's a 3-on-1 break. Up ahead, here's Tatar. Tatar back to Kopitar. Shoots, hits the post. Rebound. Hops over the stick of Tatar. Andrei Kopitar had Lundqvist beat. There's another drive in front, trying to set up Kopitar again. Hosa's stick is tied up. Great pressure here by Team Europe. This is by far, we've seen all their games so far, this is by far the best they have looked.
Well, they got legs tonight, something they didn't seem to have in the first 2 games.
Henrik to Daniel towards the net, rolls in on Halak. Broken up by Hedman to keep the play alive. Now it's Henrik. Behind the goal for Daniel. Daniel out in front was looking for Hjalmarsson, and he had his stick lifted. And now here comes Gaborik with a burst of speed. Right side, Gaborik shoots. Good stop by Lundqvist, who's been busy in this second period. Stopping all kinds of odd man rushers and a penalty shot. Sweden is still out shooting Europe by 1. Here's Silfverberg. He shoots, and he just missed stick side as things have really started to open up now.
After a tight checking first period.
Ekman Larsson has that pass go off a stick of Belmar, out of play. We'll take a break. The pace is picking up in Washington. 2-0 Europe. Back in Washington, and we've had chances galore over the last 5 minutes or so.
Well, you got Strawman and Hedman playing together. Of course, they play together in Tampa as well, and Hedman jumps up into the play as we see him do it so often in the give and go, and a good save by Halak. And at the other end, Kopitar right in perfect position has Lundqvist beat, and the only thing that beat him was the post. Is Kopitar with a beautiful chance right in the slot.
Thomas Tatar has scored here in the second period. The assists on that play to Gaborik and Streit. That's where we sit after the first period goal by Draisaitl. Here is Erik Karlsson. Norris Trophy finalist again. He's already a 2-time winner of that trophy. Here's Soderberg in the corner, met immediately by Sekera. In comes Patrick Berglund. And now it's Soderberg of the Avalanche. Gets it to his Colorado teammate Landeskog. One-timer from Karlsson. Got all of it and missed the net. Picked up by Berglund. Landeskog all tied up there along the sideboards. It bounces inside the line, and Sweden will control from the back end. Ekholm, his pass off the stick of Soderberg and down the ice.
Big, heavy line that Sweden has for their fourth line, and they can do some damage on the cycle.
Now here comes some skill. It's Forsberg. Forsberg back to Stroman. Stroman shoots, and he just missed. High on the stick side on Halak. Victor Hedman settles it down, gives it up to Backstrom. Nicholas Backstrom around the net, throws it back. Stroman is there. His wrist shot into traffic, hit his old man Hornqvist. And now it's flipped up. Up the boards, Reeder was there, and he relieves the pressure. Sweden coming here a bit. They quickly move it back up to Forsberg. He couldn't handle the pass. And now it's near side for Chara. Chara up ahead. Nino Niederreiter is on it. And Hedman's on him, but he creates a little room. Walks out, curls back. And now Hedman takes out 2 Europe forwards. Gets all tangled up with both of them. Here's Ehrhoff back to Streit. That pass in behind, a little support there from Reeder. Hjalmarsson goes across to Ekman Larsson. He'll just put that to open ice, near corner. Puck battle there. That was Daniel Sedin tripping up Ehrhoff. I don't think he can get 3 penalties tonight, can he? Here's Daniel again. Players dig for it. Eriksson's down there. And it's centered back out, controlled by Hjalmarsson. Henrik takes a look, slap pass, looking for the tip. Ekman Larsson is on it. Draisaitl watching him, feeds it down low to Eriksson, to Henrik in front, and it bounces right to Draisaitl, and he'll flip this down the ice. Good pace going now. That one's tipped up ahead, just out of the reach of Carl Hagelin. Fresh legs off the bench.
Sweden starting to get their puck pressure now. They're running down the boards and working the cycle offensively much better here in the latter half of the second period.
Here comes Josi now. Josi to Kopitar. Kopitar to Tatar. Now Tonze again. Silverberg is on him. Ekholm is in there as well, and it comes up for Hagelin. And he'll just flip this out to center ice. Racing in there is Backlund. In on Seidenberg, forcing him to move that puck. And it's flipped back down. There's Erik Karlsson, 82 points last season, tied for 4th in NHL scoring for Joe Thornton. He's dancing his way in, and he drew a couple of mates offside and slams the puck in a little frustration. And he's down. This is really picked up here at the Verizon Center in the second period as we look forward to the real thing starting on Saturday at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. And this team, Europe, is trying to send themselves and everybody else a message that while they have not looked great in their first 2 pre-tournament games, they are definitely here to compete. There's a bunch of proud veterans on that team, and they know they're kind of thrown together a little bit. 8 different countries coming together. But they have looked sharp tonight. 8:21 to go, second period. Stroman to his Tampa teammate, Hedman off the blocker and up into the netting.
And one of the challenges for Team Sweden is for all of these players who are used to playing with all their skill a lot. And you take a guy like Karlsson, who's on track for about 18 minutes tonight. And normally, as we all know, he's well north of 25 every time he plays for the Ottawa Senators.
Off the draw, that shot never reaches the net, goes into the corner. Backstrom pushed off the puck, controlled again by Forsberg. Lead pass out of the reach of Backstrom and cleared. Here's Philip Forsberg dancing in. Look at Forsberg. He's had a lot of jump here tonight. Sekera banks it off the glass and out to center ice, and it's sent back in. Here's Victor Hedman. That long pass goes down the ice, and then it's going to be icing against Sweden.
Player like Hedman, another player that's a 25-minute plus guy. Team Sweden going with pretty much 3 lines tonight. They've got that heavy line, that 4th line with Landeskog, Berglund, and Soderberg that will be a pretty good heavy forechecking line for Team Sweden that can come in handy when they play teams like Team USA in Canada.
Here's Josi right into the glove of Lundqvist. Henrik Lundqvist, 3 Olympics, including a gold in 2006. That was a year, Greg, when Sweden won double gold. They won gold at the Olympics, and then a couple of months later won gold at the World Championships, something that had not been done since the days of the Red Army.
It was kind of a coming out party for Henrik Lundqvist at the time, and what a career he has had, both internationally and, of course, in the National Hockey League.
Here's Berglund, races after that puck, got it out to center ice, and now Soderberg almost stepped in there with a breakaway. Almost. Here's Ehrhoff. Bounces right back to Vanek. Thomas Vanek to open ice. Strike taps at it, and the Swedes clear this down the ice.
See a little more of this Landeskog line the second period here. Without the penalties, that helps.
Ehrhoff, who played last season for 2 teams, LA and Chicago. Eriksson settles it back. Gets it back from Ekman Larsson, and now it's over near side for Niklas Hjalmarsson. Here's Eriksson. Into the middle of the ice, the Swedes throw it around. Hjalmarsson takes a look around. In Chicago Blackhawks history, there is no defenseman that has played more playoff games than Hjalmarsson. He's the leader. Here's Henrik into the middle. Daniel with a shot. Stopped by Halak as he's called him on to make a stop. Back to Karlsson. Karlsson slapper. A high rising shot that goes over the net. Now it's Daniel. Back towards the goal. Bounces out. And Hossa with a one-touch pass. Turned back in. And it's onside. Here's Henrik trying to shovel it down low to Louis Eriksson. Back to Daniel. And that pass goes off a stick into the netting, and the faceoff will stay inside the blue line.
Oh, we've seen this for years for many European teams, and Team Sweden is one of them, where they just wait for their regroup. They'll turn back until they like what they see. They'll spin their forwards, and finally they find Sedin here. Hjalmarsson does, and that's what creates all the problems for Team Europe, is they just wait in the neutral zone until things sort out the way they like it. They spin and twist their forwards. It's a pretty good pressure from Team Sweden afterwards.
5 shots on net for Daniel Sedin. Here's Backstrom in to take this draw against Nielsen, who pulls that back. Seidenberg takes the hit, moves it up the boards, and it just gets outside. And now it's Nino Niederreiter of the Minnesota Wild. Trying to get away here and dancing around on the backside is Roman Josi. Finally gets it away to Niederreiter. Niederreiter throws it across to Draisaitl's got a goal tonight. He's in there, scores! What a goal by Leon Draisaitl! Fantastic!
Well, Draisaitl showing you tonight why the Edmonton Oilers are so excited about this kid. And he is going to be a star in this league. There is no doubt in my mind at all. It all starts with Josi at the other end. He just waits and spins and turns around. And then a broken play. And look at the speed and strength of Draisaitl as he just jumps by the Swedish defense. After Niederreiter just does the flip pass off the boards. And what a terrific play inside out as Ekholm gets caught standing still. And Niederreiter, with his size and strength, battles to the front of the net and beats Lundqvist.
And it is 3-0. Here's Silverberg trying to get something going, and now here they come again. Odd man rush, led by Zuccarello. Zuccarello with Gaborik in front, and he couldn't corral that pass. Maybe getting just a piece of it was Silverberg on the back check. Zuccarello on the loose puck again, chases it into the corner, moves it ahead. Gaborik is there. Europe's really feeling it now. Here's Silverberg, straight up the ice. He'll step in, put it down low. Chara, first to the puck, and it's left there for Frans Nielsen. Puts it right back in, and Zuccarello's on it. Near side now, it's met by Ehrhoff. Christian Ehrhoff walks the line towards the net, and that is tipped up and out of play. How about Team Europe? Up by 3 on Sweden late in the second period. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, putting on a show here tonight.
Oh, he's big, he can skate, he's got good hands, and puck recovery here by Draisaitl behind the net. He goes to the front of the net and redirects that puck past Henrik Lundqvist for his first goal tonight. Josi does some real nice work behind the net to start Europe out of their own zone. Niederreiter just flips it towards the board. Here's his power move by Draisaitl with his long reach, and then he chips it up over top of Henrik Lundqvist.
And Europe controls this puck off the draw again. It's Hansen. Hansen tries to cut in front of the net. Vanek in support, gets his shot away, and another one, and that puck is still loose. And finally corralled by the Swedes and lifted out to center ice. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Here's Berglund. Berglund, a big body, throws it in front, looking for a tip from Landeskog and did not get one. Now it's free for Hansen. Out from behind their own net. It is Berglund, drops it off. One things that have gone here with Jarl Halak. Halak's been sharp in the games that you and I have seen, so, I mean, they got to get 4 by him.
He seems to have his A game back after having some injury issues over the summer and last year.
Niederreiter and Seidenberg draw the assists on the goal by Leon Draisaitl, his second of the game. Here's Hossa now. Hossa in for Tatar, and Tatar couldn't get that to his forehand to get a shot away. Now up ahead, here's Patrick Hornquist. Takes a look around. Hornquist waiting for some help to arrive. He's got it in Forsberg, but Europe takes that away, and we have a penalty call coming up here.
Yep, it's going to be Tatar for closing his hand on the puck and throwing it forward. As he didn't have a stick, Seidenberg didn't have a stick. He just picked the puck up and threw it forward. And Tatar with a penalty here, and with 3:06 to go, it's not the one you want to take for Team Europe before the period's over, as you do not want to give Sweden any momentum. And here's the play. Tatar actually gave his stick to Seidenberg, the defenseman, who lost his stick earlier in the play, and then he just takes the puck and throws it.
Second power play, a chance here for Sweden. Ekman Larsson goes back to Karlsson. Karlsson taking his time, throws it in front, they score! Tipped in front, possibly by Eriksson again, maybe Daniel, but Sweden's on the board, and it's 3-1.
Daniel Sedin with the tip in front of the net, and what a play by Karlsson. First of all, you get the face-off win, and then Karlsson shoots for the tip all the way as Daniel Sedin pulls out and runs back into the slot. D to D, and you'll see Sedin here just curl out now, left of your screen, stick down, and there's the shot for the tip, and it goes right in between the legs of Louis Eriksson, who provides the screen. And as I mentioned now, Sweden with a little bit of life after that penalty to Tatar late here in this period.
That took just 13 seconds into the power play to get them on the board here, 3-1. We'll see if things change. Silverberg is on the puck, walking out of the corner with it in front, got a shot away, but it was blocked, and it goes into the near corner. Put back for Stroman, his drive knocked down, rebound is there for Hagelin. He got a shot from a sharp angle. Now it's Backlund. Backlund back to Stroman, wide, shoots, and that's blocked by Reeder, and controlled now by Niederreiter. Back up to Reeder. Saw Stroman closing on him, so he just dumps it in. Daniel Sedin, the Vancouver Canucks all-time leading goal scorers, got a goal here in the late stages of the second, and he's got the puck back. Taps it back to Stroman. Off the boards looking for Daniel. He's met immediately by Nielsen, who read the play, and he breaks it up and carries it in there. He's shoved off the puck there by Hedman. Now back to Daniel and flipped up ahead to Henrik. Henrik Sedin, straight up the middle, curls back, flips it up to Karlsson. Gaborik settling the puck down, almost threw it right into the middle there for Henrik Sedin. And this one is icing against Europe. 1:22 to go in the second.
Zuccarello trying to go through the middle, and it ends up being an icing play, and Zuccarello's lost an edge, so he's going to go buy a little bit of time, and they're actually going to let him go off, and Kopitar is going to take the draw, which is, well, he's not going to take the draw, he's going to go on the wing.
Sedin from Karlsson and Ekman Larsson. And that is a power play you will not want to mess with once the tournament begins for real on the weekend. That's where we sit, 3-1. Here's Backstrom. Backstrom comes away with a puck deep in the corner. Puts it in behind the net, and Forsberg is on it. Here is Forsberg. He'll drop it off. Matthias Ekholm now goes for a skate all the way around. Ekholm still with it, throws it back towards the net. Sekera breaks that up and clears the puck. Here's Karlsson now. He is stripped by the quick stick of Frans Nielsen. Draw settles it down and then gets his bank pass back. Zdeno Chara up to center ice, tipped in by Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Lundqvist out of his stick to Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson turns that one over to Bellemare again. Now the high slot, teeing it up and firing a blast. There was Josi. He had a rocket. Good last shift here by Europe. Loose puck. Going in there for it is Bellemare. And now wide side for Landeskog. Time winding down, just throws it in there. Halak spinning around the dasher board, knocked down by Berglund, and time is going to expire in a much more entertaining second period. Draisaitl gave Europe a 3-0 lead, and then Daniel Sedin got a goal for Sweden, and it's 3-1. All set for the third period after a busy second. 3 goals, 2 by Europe, 1 by Daniel Sedin of Sweden, and we sit 3-1 entering the third and final period of this last dress rehearsal for these two teams prior to the start of the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. Dave Randorf back with you along with Greg Millen between the benches. And Sweden starts by icing the puck.
Well, Sweden with a late goal in that period, perhaps a momentum builder for them. And Daniel Sedin's been absolutely on fire. That whole line has for Sweden here in this game. He has 6 shots so far in this game after 2 periods alone.
Led the Canucks in goals again and in points. 28 goals, 61 points last season. In behind the net is Kopitar. Kopitar wrapped up by a couple of Swedes and tried to get it to Tatar in close quarters. Tatar's worked his way up this lineup since the pre-tournament competition began. He finds himself on this top line with Kopitar and Hossa. There's a wrist shot that misses the mark. Hossa's on it, tries to walk out in front and gets a shot away from a sharp angle. It bounces to the point. Sekera gets on the loose puck. Hey! Here's Kopitar again. Back and forth with Hossa. And into the corner for Tatar. Spins it across and nobody home. Backstrom just steps out of the zone. Karlsson knocks that pass down and steps in himself. Throws it back to Forsberg, who did not get all of that one on the one-timer. Karlsson put it right on his stick. Centered back out in front. That's held to the line. Coming off the bench, here is Hjalmarsson. He takes a drive, and Halak took a peek behind him, I think. But he does have the puck.
Well, he had him. It just stuck between his pads at the other end. Moments ago, Hossa with the first good chance up here. He is so good at this. His net play, where he just tries to bank it off goalies. Not once, but twice he tries it here on Lundqvist. And Lundqvist holds the post well. And then at the other end, Karlsson jumps into the play. Forsberg fans on that one, and Halak had to fight it off a little bit. And then right after that, the puck almost squirted between the legs on this last chance. And Halak, who just found it at the last second.
Marian Hossa sitting on 499 career goals. Right now, there are 43 players with 500, and he's about to come to 44th. Sweden controlling the puck. Across to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. 59 goals for Ekman-Larsson the last 3 seasons combined. Only Brent Burns has more amongst defensemen over that time. And here is Louis Eriksson dropping it off for Henrik. Henrik cuts into the middle and then walks into the zone. Eriksson puts it back to the line. Now it's Hedman taking that pass. His backhander in on Halak, who knocks it down and covers up again for a faceoff that's coming up to his left.
And we're seeing Sweden's defense jump a lot more here in this third period, down by a couple of goals, and they've already contributed to a couple of chances, the latest being Hedman on the giveaway here. And Hedman will just walk in from the point, get on the backhand, and Halak with a good save with no traffic in front of him, and Sedin does not get to the front of the net in time.
Here's that heavy line that you've been talking about all night. Soderberg and Landeskog and Patrick Berglund. Again, Berglund playing his first game since being a late ad with Ricard Raquel falling ill and still back in Sweden at last report. Hedman puts it back into the corner. Soderberg waits for it down low. Walks out. Soderberg using that big frame of his. spins a backhander in tight, and it goes in behind the net.
Good battle.
Now Berglund, one hand on his stick, one hand on Ehrhoff, centers it out for Soderberg, and that goes just wide. Pressure being applied by the Swedes now. Hedman goes across to Stralman. Over to Hedman. And he bats that one into the Team Europe zone. Andrej Sekera feeds that one down the ice, and here is Ekholm. Knocked down by Niederreiter, and he's going to cut in. Niederreiter can't get a shot away as Ekholm recovered defensively and broke that play up. Here he comes again, Niederreiter, the Swiss native. Can't get a shot, and Sweden comes out. 3 across the blue line. It's Backlund feeding one in front. Loose puck. Hagelin got a shot away, and another great stop by Jarro Halak.
I like Halak's game. He's not chasing pucks, and he's in real good position for second and third shot opportunities, and he's been doing it all game long. And here's the turnover and the counterattack. Niederreiter almost gets in, and Eklund with a good defensive play on that. And then here's this chance, and Halak skates over on his knees and makes a beautiful second save. Perfect position.
Jarro Halak's last game in the NHL was March 8th. His season ended early with a groin injury. He did not play anymore in the regular season, nor in the playoffs. And then there was a reported sports hernia in the offseason while he was training. So he's had some injuries to deal with, but he's looked good here in pre-tournament action. And he'll be a factor for Team Europe in that round robin, by all indications that we've seen. Now it goes back to the line. Seidenberg moves it across. That's Josi. Josi now puts it around the boards. Forsberg is there. So is Ekman Larsson. Good work down low there by Thomas Tatar. And now Hornquist can't get it out. Europe making him work for every inch on that shift. Here's Forsberg. He'll step inside the line. Up ahead for Ekman Larsson. Seidenberg finds that puck at his feet. A couple of Swedes around him, and it comes up for Tatar, and Europe is gone. They win the puck battle, and here's Draisaitl. 2 goals on the night. Or bigger part, that was Josi, but Draisaitl does have 2 goals on the night. Here comes Hedman, back the other way. His pass up ahead, off the stick of Daniel Sedin. Sedin reaches up to keep that out, and now it's Eriksson in for Hedman. Hedman shoots, and he fired it wide. Daniel back to Stralman. Stralman in tight. Hedman turns and fires another one, and that one whistles high and wide as well, and all the way down the ice.
Yeah, you're seeing Hedman and Stralman throughout the game on the ice when the Sedin twins are on the ice on that line, and they've been very effective offensively, particularly Hedman.
Anton Stralman, who's played in 2 of the last. Oh, he's giving it up now, and here's a break. Busting in is Vanek, shoots, scores! Thomas Vanek with a gift walks in and gets Europe's 4th goal of the night.
You do not see this very often from Anton Stralman. He's a steady guy that usually backs up Hedman, but he gets a little too cute here, goes to his backhand on the neutral zone, and Zuccarello breaks it up, and Vanek, we all know he's got that crafty, they have good hands coming in, and there's the giveaway. Vanek just comes in, rolling puck, settles it down, and just chips it up over top of Henrik Lundqvist.
Representing Austria, Thomas Vanek, who's now a Detroit Red Wing after signing a free agent contract with them. Last 2 seasons with Minnesota. That did not work out well for Vanek. He went back to the state where he played his college hockey and where he was a star at the University of Minnesota. Now he's off to Detroit, and he's got a goal here to make it 4-1 Europe. Carlson picks up that loose puck and takes off. Carlson with a lead feed up ahead for the speedster Hagelin. Second to the puck, and Europe works it around the board. Ekman Larsson puts it right back in. Here's Reeder on it. Tobias Reeder just gets it out. Sweden completes its line change, and Carlson backs up. Here it comes. The captain of the Ottawa Senators puts it right in on Halak. Kicked into the corner. Berglund's second attempt. Hits the blocker and goes back into the corner. Ekman Larsson. Back for Patrick Berglund. He can't get it deep, and it comes back inside the Sweden blue line.
Much better structure for Team Europe in this game, and not nearly as many giveaways, and their gaps between defense and forward has improved immensely.
Most of the giveaways are being committed by the guys in yellow.
Yep.
Now here's a chance, wide open, cutting in there. Draisaitl's got the hat trick. Backhander and in. Third goal of the night for Leo.
And what a game for the kid. He's done it all. This time a beautiful rush chance as Sweden gets caught deep in the zone. This creates the 3-on-2. Draisaitl gets the puck in the slot, and he just shove it right between Henrik Lundqvist, who has not had a good night for Team Sweden. Only just a 5-hole goal that goes right through him. Even though Draisaitl was in pretty good position on his backhand in the slot.
That is 5 goals on 20 shots against Henrik Lundqvist. And 3 of them by Leon Draisaitl. One in the first, one in the second, and now one here in the third. Here's another flurry around that Swedish net. Team Europe has been impressive here tonight. 12:59 to go in the third, up by 4. Jacob Markstrom is now between the pipes for Sweden.
And one of the reasons is because of this youngster. As Draisaitl has had a wonderful game, he gets puck recovery in the first period, goes to the net and redirects the puck for his first goal of the game, and then a solo effort as he streaks down the wing, beats the defense, and then chips it up over Henrik Lundqvist. And then moments ago in the third period here, a backhander in the slot that goes right through Henrik Lundqvist, and that's all for Lundqvist in this game this evening with 12:59 to go in the third.
Not the best game to go into the tournament on, but he's a veteran. I'm sure he'll be able to deal with that, but wasn't his best night, that's for sure. So Markstrom comes in. He played half the game last week in a game against Finland in Helsinki. Did not allow a goal, stopped all 11 shots he faced. And he'll get a little action here. The third goalie for Sweden is Jonas Enroth. There's another quick drive and 2 stops by Halak, who remains in there and remains sharp.
Right on the mark tonight for Halak. Very impressive.
Here is Hedman now. Hedman picking his way into the zone. Fans on that one. And Kopitar puts this one up the boards. And here comes Europe again with an odd man rush. Floating it in there, did not get a shot. Gaborik waited a beat too long and couldn't pull the trigger and get it on net. Europe looking for more. Cutting back in. Here's a chance now for Nielsen, and he was disrupted just enough as he cut towards the net. 5 goals on the board tonight for Europe. They had 4 in their first 2 games combined. And Halak's got that one.
Again. And I've talked about his recovery tonight. Here's another good example. He spits out a rebound this time, but he's in perfect position for the blocker save and finds the puck through traffic on the Hagelin chance.
The backup for Halak tonight is Philip Grubauer. Plays for the Washington Capitals, of course. He was added when Frederik Andersen was injured during Olympic qualifying tournament prior to this whole thing starting. Andersen may have been the number 1, but he was unavailable, so Halak moves up the depth chart. Thomas Greiss is the third goalie, and there's a look at Markstrom. There's a look at Greiss, who plays for the Caps here.
He had a tough outing, and his game in Montreal didn't last very long, and a very capable goalie, mind you, that will be ready to go if needed.
I misspoke. That is Grubauer. Greiss is third goalie tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, Greiss was really struggling in Montreal. Allowed 4 goals on 8 shots. That one's over towards the benches, and Down the ice it goes. Just over 11 minutes to go here, and Sweden probably wants to get a couple on the board to feel a little bit better about themselves going into round-robin play. Here's Carlson. Carlson to Backstrom. Backstrom high in the zone to Carlson. One-time shot. Hits a couple of bodies on its way by wide of the net. Sweden does not play its first round-robin game until Sunday. And it's a tough starting assignment indeed, as they will play an afternoon game against Russia.
You've got to be impressed with Team Europe the way they have rebounded here. I mean, they were not happy after getting pretty much embarrassed by Team North America's speed in the first 2 games. And they have found their structure, and if they play like this and get some goaltending, they will be another team that will give the big boys of the tournament some problems.
Well, it's interesting to note, you hear players talk about experience and how important that is. Well, of all the teams in the World Cup of Hockey, Canada has the most Stanley Cup rings with 12. Next on that list with 8 is Team Europe.
And all of these players in Team Europe are used to these tournaments where you got to peak at the right time. That's half the battle.
That one turned over in the neutral zone. Landeskog's pass goes off of skates. And there's Hjalmarsson just shoveling that thing in there. Ehrhoff snaps it in. Markstrom knocks it down. And it's picked up by Stralman. Stralman up ahead to Hedman. And a crossover for Louis Eriksson. And they pound that puck in. Daniel's going to be first to it, but it gets past him. Along the near side now, Zuccarello trying to dig it away from Henrik Sedin. Hedman back towards the net, tipped just wide by Daniel. There is Stralman on his backhand, walking off the boards, got it to Hedman. Hedman goes across. In front, Louis Eriksson is there, and that one is a high, hard one he couldn't handle. Now it's Henrik Sedin. Daniel back to Henrik, trying to throw it back to him, and that was right there by Chara.
Chara doing a real good job on Daniel Sedin and Henrik on that last shift. And he's starting to come around a little bit also.
So Draisaitl with a hat trick tonight. He does not have a hat trick in the NHL. So he has definitely been putting on the show. Here's Carlson. Carlson across to Forsberg with a one-timer. Fired it wide. Carlson back with a puck. His wrist shot. Halak got just a piece of it as it went wide. Hornqvist worked over by Belmar. Gets back up, spins it back into the near corner, and on it is Forsberg. Made one nice move, and then it's swept down the ice by Hansen. Henrik Hansen hard to the forecheck against Forsberg. And that pass misses the mark, looking for Nick Backstrom. Long pass bounced up into the middle, and now it's picked up by Niederreiter. Niederreiter, who's also had some jump here tonight for Europe. Walking out of the corner again there is Draisaitl. And now it's Jakob Silfverberg. In for Hagelin. Hagelin trying to go one-on-one with Streit, who split him up and finished him off along the side boards, but he got the puck away. Now it's Ekman Larsson with a drive, and that's wide. Hagelin, his wrist shot, bounces into the corner for Ekman Larsson. Silfverberg surrounded, still some good hard work along the end boards. Little assistance from Hagelin, tries to spin it out in front, and it sits down for Backlund. Here is Michael Backlund. His wrist shot on the mark. Easy stop for Halak. Penalty call coming up here. And this one's going against Europe. It's going to be a hooking call. So Sweden is on the power play when we come back to Washington, D.C. We're hooking, so it's Sweden's third power play of the night.
And there is the hook right in front of the net. It's sold a little bit as well. Definitely a penalty. And let's see if that's a Ekman Larsson. Some puck movement. Team Europe's done a pretty good job on the penalty kill tonight.
No, Sweden is 1 for 2. Daniel's got the power play goal. This line has scored all 3 of their power play goals so far in pre-tournament competition. Eriksson's got 2. Daniel with the puck has got 1. And there is Eriksson. Works back up top for Ekman Larsson. He gives it up to Henrik Sedin. Slap pass. Nice tip by Daniel. And Halak got a piece of that.
Almost a identical goal to their power play goal, except it was Karlsson finding Sedin. This time, Henrik finding Daniel on this slap pass that we've seen them try a couple of times, and Halak with a real nice save on the blocker to read it. And Sweden is very good at pulling players out and then shooting for the tip.
This one's pulled back, and there's Karlsson. Erik Karlsson over to Ekman Larsson. 12 power play goals for him last season. There's the wrist shot, and that just misses. This wrist shot is maybe more dangerous than his slap shot. Here's Karlsson. Karlsson back up top to Ekman Larsson. Back to Karlsson. He puts it across. That's Henrik. Karlsson, one-timer, read by Halak, and makes the stop. Ekman Larsson again. Over to Henrik. Eriksson parked right in front, turns, flips it across for Daniel, and it hopped over his stick. Just missed. Back to Daniel Sedin. Puts it in there. That's tipped just wide. Ekman Larsson challenges. Karlsson helps out, controls the puck, and throws it across to open ice, and that's going to bounce off of Daniel's stick and out. Over a minute gone. Now they've given it away. And Yossi's going to go for a skate as he checks the clock. 37 seconds to go, and the man advantage.
With Ekman Larsson and Karlsson back on the point in the power play, teams will not want to take penalties against Sweden. Boy, they are fun to watch back there together.
This one sent all the way down. Halak leaves it there for Chara. Chara almost gift-wrapped it for Landeskog, and it is going to be a hand pass, so play is whistled down. And the face-off's coming outside.
And you watch these two play catch to the point here. Ekman Larsson on one side and Karlsson in the other, and Karlsson with the one-timer off the Sedin pass. And this is a potent power play. Teams are going to have to be very disciplined when they play Sweden throughout the tournament. That is for sure.
Stepping in now is Backstrom. That one's thrown out in front and taken away there by Europe. Led by the veteran right now, Marian Hossa. Hossa has the puck swept off his stick. And here they come. Team's back at even strength now. Forsberg lost the handle, and it's given back to Kopitar. Kopitar trying to get away from the check of Backstrom. Could not do so. Forsberg steps in. Philip Forsberg out in front and just out of the reach of Hedman. Hedman's blast scores! Victor Hedman turns, shoots, and finds a hole behind Halak, and it's 5-2.
This was redirected in front of Halak. And I think Holmqvist may have redirected it in front. We'll have to wait. I have a peek at the replay here, but here's the rush chance by Sweden. Forsberg, who's had a good game, gets it back to Hedman. And Hedman's just going to turn around and blast it. Holmqvist in front of the net. Yep, there's the redirect by Holmqvist. And I believe he will get credit for the goal. Here's the turnaround, the shot. And Holmqvist in front of the net.
Well, this guy's getting some points. That's his third goal in 3 games, and to go with 2 assists. So right now, he's their leading scorer. About to start his 9th year in the NHL, 3rd with Pittsburgh. 7th round pick, the last player taken in the 2005 draft.
It's a great story, and boy, was he an important part of that Stanley Cup run for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
So a little more life for Sweden as they cut the deficit to 3 and get 1 back. Here's Gaborik trying to pick his way into the zone. Into the corner now, throws it out in front for Frans Nielsen. It was on a tee and he missed. Good pass. Here's Seidenberg. Seidenberg's got a couple of assists tonight. Gaborik banks it to Zuccarello. Cycled back into the corner. Nielsen trying to walk out, gets it to Seidenberg. Across to Josi. Josi fakes the shot, steps in, winds it out. Seidenberg with a rocket that is blocked right in front of the Swedish net. That one by Hjalmarsson. 4 minutes to go. Bounces out to center ice, and backing up is Thomas Vanek. Vanek's got trouble here. Backlund stole it from him and got a shot away. And Halak bails him out. Now back the other way, it's Hansen. Hansen can't step away from Ekman Larsson. That's Belmar down low, and now it's taken away by Erik Karlsson. Here comes Karlsson, a lot of hop and a step that goes off a stick and into the Europe bench. And out of play. We'll take a break with 3:23 to go in the game. Tournament, if you've got a hot goalie, you can really do some damage. And right now, Halak is looking good.
Yeah, he's played all 3 games, or parts of all 3 games, and he's been very solid in this net tonight. His positioning has been sound. When he's on his game, he's got great speed in the net, good lateral movement, and his rebound control has been bang on also.
Played 12 games here in his brief career as a Washington Capital. After being part of a 3-way trade that saw Ryan Miller leave Buffalo and go to St. Louis. That one is snapped in. Halak stops it up behind the net. Moves this one around the glass and outside the line. Now it's a race, and Karlsson's going to win that one. Erik Karlsson quickly spins it back up. Up ahead, bang pass, too far for Soderberg. Halak out of his net to Christian Ehrhoff. Now it is given up to Ekman Larsson. His wrist shot from long range handled by Halak.
So these teams will head up to Toronto and get ready for the real games, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting tournament. You've got this Team Europe team now coming on a little bit. They were an unknown. Team North America, who lost today, are a speedy young group of players, and of course all the stars on the other nations that all have a chance with a short tournament like this. A hot goaltender, or it'll be interesting.
Europe's first game is on Saturday afternoon against the United States, and they look far more prepared for that one. It's a timeout called by Sweden, by the way. And Europe will be, they were talking a good game. We spoke to a lot of the players who said they're having fun. There's a lot of buy-in. They weren't discouraged by, getting beat by the young guns. And they said, listen, we've got an upset in us. And right now, the way they've looked tonight, you got to take them at their word. Sweden comes back out. They have pulled the goalie, so the extra attacker is going to be on here with 2:44 to go.
And one of the rallying cries, Team Europe, is that, hey, they've had to fight and battle to even get in the National Hockey League from their smaller, non-traditional hockey markets their whole life.
That's right. Here's Sedin. Daniel tries to take a shot. It's blocked. To a man they say, we know we're the underdogs. We've been underdogs our entire careers. Here's Kopitar from Slovenia. I know he was a first-round pick, but he's from Slovenia. He's put them on the map in the hockey world. Some great stories up and down this Team Europe roster. Here's Backstrom, flips it over to Henrik Sedin. He carries it in deep, throws it across, where it's met by his brother. Now back to the line for Karlsson. Erik Karlsson, over to Daniel. Puts it on net, blocker stop, bouncing puck. Strowman is there, and it sits down for Henrik. Around the boards, waiting for it is Daniel Sedin. Back to Karlsson. Over to Strowman. Strowman up top to Karlsson. Back to Anton Strowman into the corner. Henrik Sedin across. One-timer. Great stop by Halak, who's playing right to the end here tonight, isn't he? Boy, that's a good save.
What a read to get over in time.
Out from behind the net. There's a blast from Karlsson. Blocked in front. As Europe collapses and blocks a shot, here's Henrik. Swede's got it on a string here. Here's Strowman. Back to Karlsson again. Over to Daniel. Daniel puts it on net, and that's blocked by Chara. Up the boards, but not out. Great pressure here. Here's Karlsson. Stralman scoops it up. Just over a minute to go. Carlson across to Daniel. Down low they go. Flip back out. Here's Henrik Sedin out of the corner. Looking around across to Daniel. In front, and he can't find Backstrom cleanly in all that traffic. Final minute. Stralman to Carlson. Sweden trying to get one more. The captain circles back. Went looking for his brother there, but that's going to get all tangled up, and Europe's finally going to get a chance to shoot at the empty net, and there it goes. Kopitar puts it in.
And you think Halak's a little tired right now after all that movement? He's got one knee down, shaking his head, going, "Are you kidding me? Where's the oxygen?" And he was spectacular in that last sequence. And with all that movement in front of Halak, you know how tired he is right now down there? I gotta tell you, this time of year, back and forth, up and down, as Sweden just passes it with their movement all over the place. There's that great save on Sedin as Halak gets across on that play, and then Kopitar finishes it off in the empty net.
Sweden has had 36 shots on net and just 2 goals. Down to the other end, a different story entirely, as Lundqvist was not himself tonight. We've seen him play a whole lot better. And remember, his season didn't end that great either in that series against Pittsburgh. He's got to pull it together here. Markstrom comes out of his net and pushes that up to center ice as the final seconds tick down and the dress rehearsal is over for these two teams. Sweden and Europe will play for real on the weekend, and Team Europe, led by Leon Draisaitl's hat trick, looked impressive tonight against one of the contenders in this tournament. 6-2 is the final.
And a real strong effort by Team Europe here tonight. They told us they were going to rebound, as you mentioned, Dave, and they did. They played as a team, and they got great goaltending, and Team Sweden were outmatched in this one this evening.